know you're on a diet, but can I have a muffin or what?
Fill your boots.
Looking at me for ages. What? We're gonna have to get caught.
It's disrespectful to a sport. Like, I don't know, you think you're out, I think you can come in and just rearrange a whole sport. Boxing's way bigger than anyone, let alone Dana White.
But I think if anyone owes a promoter loyalty, it's Conor Benn. Like, failed through drug tests, whether it was genuine or you believe him or you don't believe him. Eddie backed him when no one else did.
I think personally, Chisora and Wardley.
You only pick Chisora in case he puts it on next year.
You put it on you and you did shit yourself. This episode is brought to you by That Prize Guide. Visit www.thatprizeguide.co.uk for more information on prizes. Right, first things first then, obviously you've got a massive fight coming up, David Morrell. Feel weird interviewing me brother like, but how are you feeling in camp and what's been going on?
I don't need to make all about myself, like, but yeah, big fight, massive fight, big one in my career. A good fight stylistically, one that I feel excites me. I've always said I need a fight where if I turn up, I believe I'll win. If I underperform, there's a big chance I'll lose, and I always feel that brings out the best in me, the pressure to deliver, pressure to perform. So yeah, it's a good fight, a lot at stake. Yeah. Defending my interim title, which at some point will get me shot at the belt. So
back at the Echo?
Back at Liverpool, yeah, which is good. It's been nearly 7 years. So it's been, 2019, so 6.5, 7 years. Probably too long, to be honest with you, but I've been all over the world, Canada, USA, Germany, Saudi, but there's nothing quite like fighting at home. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting in there and putting on a show for my own fans.
You know what your last fight at the Echo was, don't you?
Your last fight?
Your last fight.
Yeah.
I had to scrap that day as well, didn't I? Some fucking knobhead in the kids' footy.
It's a tougher fight than people think. I've been asked by loads on what's he like. I think we know. Obviously, I think people in boxing know how tough a fight is. Obviously, you have to only read the comments, read the people in boxing who are talking about it. Like the average casual fans don't really know how good Morrell is.
I think a lot of people, when it's not a domestic fight, you don't really think it's... But I think looking at the rankings outside the champions, it's the toughest fight I can possibly have. There goes Bivol, Beterbiev, Benavidez, myself, then Morrell. So it's the toughest fight without fighting for the title.
The thing with me thinking about this, it's an interim title. Who gets mandatories for interim titles? That's like, it's some fight, it's a world title fight, it should be, but it's like, it's a very, very tough fight for both of you to be in the interim stage.
You know what I mean? For the interim, and if you're a full champion, this would be a massive defence, a mandatory defence regardless. Yeah. Obviously, we know Bivol's been out injured.
I get where you're coming from though, with what you said initially. It's one of them fights where you know it's a tough fight, we know it's a tough fight, and a lot of people in boxing know what a tough fight it is, but as you say, the general public will be like, oh, Smith's back at the arena, he'll smash this kid.
What's he like?
And they're gonna realise when they get in there, people are talking, hey, tough fight, they still think, oh, okay, it's the general public. Yeah.
I said the same with Nick Ball, and I'm not saying it's going to go the same way, by the way, but Nick Ball was on a bit of a hiding to nothing, I felt, because if he beats him, the average fan's not going to really know how good Figueroa was, but if he loses or he underperforms, he's going to come in for a bit of criticism because not many people realise just how good he is. The same, like Morrell's a similar thing. It's a bit of a hiding to nothing for you, to the non-fans, but to the proper boxing fans who know the stuff.
Yeah. I think the thing I'd go as far as saying, taking everything into account in terms of it probably been best win in my career. In terms of, Groves was a good win, but I was 28 unbeaten. Yeah. Good activity going into it, like I bounced into it. As now I've been out the ring over a year, 35, touching 36. I just think, like, stylistically, I rate him very highly, so I put it down as if I win my career best win.
When you say that, I think with like Figueroa, he's a 3-week world champion now, so that in itself sells him.
Gets respect,
This kid, unless you know him in boxing, he was coming through like 3 fights in, was coming like belting. Everyone in boxing know how good he was, Cuban background and that, but when again the general public, they won't really know it and won't realise how big a fight it is for it.
Yeah, the thing with Figueroa as well, everyone knew he was a good fighter, everyone knew he was 2-weight world champion, but it's a mad scenario to say. I said to people if he was big enough for ball, and that's what you mean, is he big enough because ball's small, sure. But I meant he was stepping up in weight. When we say is he big enough, I meant is he strong enough and solid enough to go to 12 at Nick Ball's pace, and obviously, you know, he was handsome. It was kind of the first time,
good fight.
You know, someone has kind of outlasted Nick, but it is along the same lines, and a lot of people in boxing knew Figueroa was a good fighter. You know, I think a lot of people in boxing know Morrell's very, very good.
Training's going well as well, isn't it? Obviously, I watched you today in the gym.
Yeah, it's a tough day today.
Buddy's back to
yeah, back next week. But yeah, training's, it's hard, and a lot of it's the same. Like, a lot of it doesn't change. Tactically, obviously, it's a little bit different in terms of the southpaw, so certain shots, certain position where you are, but the stuff that gets you fit's the same every single fight. Sometimes it's not pretty, but you've got to get it done. Your long runs, you
what do you say all the time? Bar back.
Bar back. No, I say what I say all the time. Like, there's fighters who love the idea of being a pro, but not doing the boring day-to-day hard slog what you have to do every day. I don't care how good you get, how good you are. The stuff you have to do every day in a camp is what kills you mentally, physically. What drains you, what's boring, monotonous, but that's the stuff you've got to do every day.
One thing what I say, I'm not just saying to my brother, obviously, shows here, but I can't believe already how many times I've rang you or FaceTimed you and you've been running. And I think, know what? Yeah, I know now it's lit the fire in you, because remember a year ago, obviously we all know you were getting questions before, but has he got the hunger and all that? We were like, we see you living.
Quote with Yusuf, and I'm not comparing myself to Yusuf by any means, but when he said like motivation, I don't have motivation. I've got discipline, and I fully agree with that in terms of I don't up, skip and jump to the gym. Like when I was 24, boxing was always ever lad. Like lived at my mum's, bounced the gym every day, whether they had a fight or not. It was what I loved doing. Now I don't. Like I've got a lot of things I'd rather do than go to the gym, but I do it now as good as I did then. And it's dedication rather than discipline, rather than motivation. Like say some days I don't want to go, but I'll go and I'll do it regardless. And I think that, like I reposted it, the quotes, I thought it's very, like, it makes a lot of sense and explains a lot of my mindset at the minute.
You're waking up every day with 3 kids coming, you go, Daddy, I'm going to the gym, and they know, to get into that age, well, especially Alba now, she's 7, isn't she? So to get that age now where, say, like I see, you know, she goes, Daddy, you going to the gym again? And I go, yeah. She goes, you teach people how to box. And I go, well, sort of, yeah. Know what I mean? But to get in that age where they know what you do, and that's motivation in itself, isn't it? The kids getting up and
yeah, from the gym again. Today, it turns like a lot of it as well. It's sometimes I've got to go running in the night and I genuinely can't be arsed, but I think you just guilt yourself into doing it. You like, call yourself, oh, shit, I'll just get it done. If I wouldn't do it and I got up the next morning, I think, well, that's one miss. Do you know what I mean? So I think you just, your own edge, you guilt yourself into doing the work regardless.
That's this time of year, it's freezing.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've always said that as well. The first session every day doesn't take dedication. I go to the gym, I socialise, I see people I like, I do a boxing session, that's great. When I get home, I have my tea, but that's the dedication. The second session is the one where you need to have a reason to get out. Yeah, that's where you need the reason. Going to the gym every day is easy. The second session is what you need a reason. I need to win this fight, I need this, and it's more fear of losing what's always motivating.
Well, that's why I was sitting me at you there. I thought, no, what, fair play. Every time I see you ringing you lately,
it's good you said that, don't it? Because that feeling when you first turn pro, when you're young, when you're getting up and you're jumping out of bed, you're driving 45-50 minutes, and I always like explain, like, it gets beaten out of you with the game as you get older. The older you get, the more you get through, the more, like, further down the line your career, it's a slog and a chore. Just getting,
a lot of it's circumstances and just priorities. Like, as you get older and you start to have a family and stuff, boxing becomes lower down, and even though it is your job and it's a way of providing, but it's not the be all and end all. What you have kids and stuff, so like it is.
Remember seeing
a chore at the end of the day, but it's a chore that
you see people saying like, oh, I'm willing to die in there, I'm willing to die. When you're younger, you are. The minute you have a kid, why the fuck would I want to die in a boxing ring? You know what I mean? Like everything changes. It's weird when the kids come along. It's a strange thing, but you're still not any less a fighter, obviously. But your mindset switches a little bit. You start being a bit more realistic.
Things you do the weekend, like, it was hard to explain it without saying like I box. And like, I don't box for me kids. Like I've already provided for them. Luckily,
you've known it long before, haven't you?
Event and I'll retire for them, and that's what I want. Like I want to retire early for them, not fight for them. I fight for myself. I fight for my own goals, my own dreams I had as a kid, and the decision I make that'll be for them is to retire, to keep me health and be at home with them more. But it's hard to say that without saying, I'll fight for myself, don't fight for them. But it was hard to get it across.
This, what I mean, and now I'm retired, I realised pretty quickly, you know how hard I worked in boxing to give my whole life to boxing, and at the time it is your life and it's got to be your life to get the best out of it. But when I retired, I realised pretty quickly there's more to life than boxing, and I spend my time out I had a couple of years where I spent time around my family and I loved it. I miss boxing, I still miss boxing, but you realise there's more to life than boxing. But I do massively agree with when it's your career and you're doing it, it's got to be your life. It's got to be everything.
Remember,
and I get it.
Do you remember when you had your first loss? Like I was like, not worried, not.
Why'd you keep bringing this up? You ball back.
Sorry. Do you know what I watched the other day? That fight where you got fucked. No, when Scott Quigg, classic example. Our mate, we were in the gym when he had his first loss. And there's people that when you're looking at them, you're thinking, they're unbeaten. I mean, the first loss is going to hit you fucking hard because you know what it's like. We all know what the feeling's like. Yeah. But I think keeping things in perspective is very important when things like that happen. It was the worst moment of your fucking life, the worst feeling you possibly have. But putting things into perspective sometimes helps it. But how you deal with that loss sort of makes you realise what you're saying. I agree. Like, it does make you realise slowly but surely there's bigger things in life than boxing. But when you're boxing, when you're like us, when you're fanatical about it and you're obsessed with it and you turn professional, it's everything to you. It's literally.
I think it's got to be as well at the start to get to where you want to be. You can't half-arse it type of thing.
We've all lost world title fights. You know, you've lost actual world titles, and it's a heartbreaking everything you put into it and stuff. But I'd still go as far as saying my world title fights didn't hurt me as much as your first loss. I think your first loss, you lose that air of invincibility, and then you like that bro hurt me more than anything. And I say I dreamt of being a world champion, and I gave it everything out when I got there and lost, and it broke me heart. But it still wasn't as bad as that morning after waking up my first loss, thinking.
Your first loss, I remember, obviously we went straight home. Yeah. My first loss, again, you couldn't convince me I weren't going to win. I cried my leg off.
Do you remember your first amateur loss? I'll never forget mine. I won my first fight in the first round. Probably thought it was a bit easy. Went in my second, I got fucked. Got like beat on points. Lost every round probably.
I remember the name.
Orange Social Club. I remember everything. Yeah.
I remember because I had my second fight after the run, and everyone had lost their second.
Yeah. There you go.
That was the thing what we had.
My second fight, I won my first fight. Fair and Feathers, Canny Farm show, buzzing, thinking I was the best. I'll stay on beating me and all that, know what I mean? Like, you don't believe it. Yeah, he's from Berry. I always remember it, and you think like, oh, that's me. I'm gonna stay on beating. The kid's name was Carl Proudfoot. I always remember it. Won my first fight. Crazy. Second fight, boxing in the Mons, and it was the Rotunda show. And on my debut, my first fight, I walked in the ring, I was singing Oasis, and I thought I was the main. I made up, it's easy. I wasn't nervous at all. Second fight in the Mons, Rotunda show. Ass fell out of me. I was like on the back. But honest to God, and it went on a bottle, and I went out and I lost on the majority. And again, same thing, killed me on me, mate. Today, this time round, I was fuming, but it's one of the best life lessons you can get, I think. I lost in the amateurs, that's it. Life lessons.
Paul's 19. If he turns pro next year and you're still fighting, there's a possibility of the same show. How mad would that be? It'd be absolutely crazy.
I can guarantee the kid I was, I'd have never walked into a boxing gym. I said, wait, can I start? Yeah. I only boxed because you three boxed. I went, you as a kid probably would have. I'd have never walked into a boxing gym. I was quiet and shy. I boxed because it was the normal thing. I was in a gym every day, messing around, swinging on the rope, and it was just the normal thing. Yeah, and I just thought, oh yeah, I'll start. And you're doing it in the house, but I weren't that kid who'd went to the gym and said, can I fight? Whereas you'd probably thought the first day you walked in the gym if you could.
I remember going in the powerhouse and that with my dad in the gym on Stanley Road, and there's a bag in there, but weights, go in and I'd have a sausage butty or some noodles or some cocoa noodles and then wait for my dad to finish training. So we were always around. I remember we used to go to Gordon when I was a kid as well, and just sit in the sauna with my dad and all his mates, all the footy lads and that. I'd be sitting on the floor and he'd be putting water on, like always around gyms as such. And that's what I'm saying, like Paul, Frankie, the lads, whether Caleb and River box, they're always around it. They've been brought up with it.
So obviously after the Morrell fight, I know you're not going to look past Morrell. Obviously, I think when you beat Morrell, what do you think comes of, like, with the light heavyweight the way it is now? Obviously, Bivol's been out injured. Bivol has to fight the winner. Yeah. What can you see going forward?
I don't know. There's loads of way it can play out. I think it's a good division, but it's in a bit of a weird position at the minute. Obviously, Bivol, he's the man in the division. He's got 3 of the belts. He's out injured, but I believe he's fighting May. I think he's doing his IBF mandatory.
Yeah, I've seen clips of him training. He looks a bit back fit.
So the winner of this, the minute he gets out the ring for his IBF mandatory, he should get his WBO mandatory put straight on him, which means he has to fight the winner, if not vacate. So it's win-win, really. I beat Morrell, I get to fight Bivol, which is the biggest fight out there for me. If not, I should get elevated to champion, and then there's other options. Then I could try and unify with Benavidez if Bivol goes and fights Beterbiev, which there is rumours they are doing the third one, so then that leaves Benavidez has to come back to light heavyweight if he wants to keep his belt after fighting at cruiserweight. I think you're only allowed one out the division, aren't you? So that's an option, but I think win this fight puts me in a very good position.
If he wins, would you rather fight him at cruiser?
I'd rather than cruiser.
I was going to say that rather than come back down.
It's just three-weight. Rather than unify. Look, if it's for
undisputed. You blown up cruiser, don't you?
Yeah, he's a light heavyweight himself. Yeah,
so he's light heavy, or you don't get another weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's why he's going to fight Ramirez, and he probably looks at Ramirez the same as in. It's mad at the one time I was WBA champion, Ramirez was WBO, and Benavidez was WBC all at the same time. Yeah, so. The same frame, if that makes sense, same size, so it's not like you're moving to fight a big giant who's going to end up at heavyweight. You're fighting a fella who's come the same route.
I think that's the problem with undisputed champions and getting the 4 belts together. It ties and locks up the whole division, and it's great seeing it, but then it has to stop straight away because they can't keep on top of the mandatories, and that many people are winning, and then they create these interim belts, and I think they're good because it keeps the things moving, but the champions sitting stagnant, so to speak, whether they're injured, whether they're contractually tied up, it locks everything up.
That's what comes with it though. Once you become undisputed champion, like you say, your mansies have got to be good, or you just want the big fights. And this IBF situation is a perfect situation to like explain it, because what's his name, Michael
the
German kid. Now Bivol only wants kind of big fights, and again, I'm not just saying because you're sitting there, but use a big fight. Morrell's a big fight, Benavidez a big fight. If he stepped up to cruiser, Ramirez a massive fight, Opetai's a massive fight. The German kid who no one's heard of, but who's become mandatory. He was never getting the shot. Was basically going to fight for a vacant title, but Bivol's injury has given him a little bit of a chance now. So Bivol will fight that mandatory as like comeback fight from the injury. So that's where the only way.
No disrespect to him.
I know, definitely. So it all plays out. But what I was going to say to you is, you're not in a win-win situation also, because sometimes, and again, we've seen it over the years with people we know, people we've been around, getting elevated to the interim champion. It's like not the best way to, but for your situation,
he's done it before.
You've done you are a full world champion. You beat Boatsi in an interim title fight on Morrell. You fully feel a world champion.
I think, like I say, ideally, I'd never want to be elevated. Those looking, I think I'd take it away. But in my position, say I beat Boatsi, who was top 5 Ring magazine at the time, and Morrell's top 5, so I beat 2 genuine, really good fighters.
He won a world title before, so it's not a thing.
Dubois beating Joshua was worthy of
getting elevated.
World title fight, you beating Boatsi in that type of fight, it's worthy of a world title fight. I think it could be a world title fight, especially.
What you just said though, as well, about before we move on, but from the undisputed thing, people want to see undisputed champions. They want to see who's the best in the weight. With all the old school, it should be one belt. I don't like seeing the belts. People want to see undisputed, see who's the best. I think for you as a fighter, say you yourself as the best example, you go and unify, then you go and become undisputed. I think, where's your ambition if you just stay in there and defending them? I think you should really look at other weights then. You've completed that weight, move on. So I think anyone who just get undisputed, most of them do. Yeah. Ununified and give the belts up and move up and try again.
Never taken away from you. Look at the belt before. You've got 4 of them in the house.
New Crawford and Usyk have all done it 2 different weights now, because they've gone, well, know what, that weight's done, on a go, and let everyone else fight for the rest.
Top of the mountain, you've done it.
I don't agree with that.
I agree now in terms of like Usyk like he lost they like Dubois in the IBF, or Wardley, it's now WBO, but yet there's no disputing Usyk's the best heavyweight in the world. He doesn't need the 4 belts to warrant that, or for people to call him it.
But in his defence, I was going to say, in his defence, like, he went from cruiser to heavyweight, which is the biggest jump you can make, and there's no more jumps after that. So
but that was another fight as well, Wardley against Parker. That's a world title fight. Him and Parker was literally next in line.
Like the next best.
The next best, definitely. That's worthy of a world title fight.
Taking that fight, haven't you? To be fair, Parker was in line, and he was next there. He didn't have to go and fight a tough fight like Wardley, and he did.
Just one more thing to round this off. Do you reckon you'd make cruiser?
At a push.
Our friends at Bingham Long Solicitors are leading a major legal claim on behalf of people affected by legal aid data breach. Earlier this year, the agency failed to protect applicants' sensitive information, allowing hackers to access and download over 2 million pieces of personal data, including names, addresses, financial details, and even criminal records. If you apply for legal aid at any point since 2007, your data may have been exposed and you may be due significant compensation. To find out if you're eligible and join the claim, simply scan the QR code now on screen. You can also learn more at legalaidclaim.com.
Speaking of the belts, was up for boxing. What's your thoughts? All ears.
It's interesting. Again, we were talking about on TalkSport on Tuesday about whether one organisation can work like the UFC. I don't personally think it can. No. I think this is going to cause a lot of bother with MMA, with UFC fighters who are not getting paid what they say. You know, like they say 15 to 20% maximum of the income goes to the athletes in the UFC, whereas in boxing it's probably 95, 90%.
Look, it's going to be difficult. Like in the football situation, and like what people are going about, for Zope to come into boxing, it's great for boxers. It's just another avenue, another platform. Especially they're meant to be coming to the UK right away, so it's more avenue for boxing. That side of it is not our problem. It's the UFC's problem. It's the MMA fighters' problem. It's their argument with Dana White. It's nothing to do with boxing. Boxing won't suffer in that way, and by all accounts, they're obviously not trying to run it like a UFC. They've just offered Conor Benn 15 million on a one-fight deal. $15 million. So again, he's making a rub for his own back, but it's nothing really to do with boxing. Not boxing's problem.
My thing over initially when he come in and the news was coming out, Dana White's coming into boxing, and all of a sudden it's like Dana White's not dealing with the organisations. He's making his own belt, and he's not doing anything. So I was looking at it thinking, hey, like, it's disrespectful to a sport. Like, I don't know, you think you're out, I think you can come in and just rearrange a whole sport. Boxing's way bigger than anyone, let alone Dana White. But secondly, us as all young up and coming boxers and all the rest of them all look up to Ireland. I look up to idolise Sugar Ray Leonard. We all did. Roberto Duran, people like Muhammad Ali. Like when you look at your boxers you aspire to be, all this generation looking at Mayweather, Pacquiao, they're holding WBC titles, WBA, IBF. So you're looking thinking, I'm going to win that belt one day, Dad. I want to do that, and that's your aim, your aspiration. You know, you've got world titles in the house. That was your dream. It wasn't like, when I get older, I want to win a belt. What a fella's made himself. It doesn't make sense.
With all due respect to this, I can't look at the IBO belt. Never mind a new. And I'm not slagging it off. I'm not putting people down for winning. No problem at all with it. But it's not a world title.
You'll never get recognised. You'll never get paid out for bet. You bet on someone when the kids they'll be world champion. You don't get paid out on an IBO title. Same way you won't get paid out on it. But regards the money situation, because that was the big. Regards what it does with this is up for belt or not. The big situation was is Dana White going to come into boxing and think he can pay boxers like he pays the UFC fighters, exactly. And by what we're in, he's not. And he's making a rub for his own back, as in his own,
MMA,
UFC, MMA thing. Yeah. But like, I remember at the time, obviously people running around was like, Meatball Molly, a couple of helped it out in the boxing scene, and it was like, unbelievable how the UFC's run, pissed all over everything.
Yeah, as an organisation.
So why? What sense? Like go in your hotel rooms. You've got your meal gets delivered to your door. You've got all your trackies laid out, and I was like, brilliant. But I'd rather have the extra money in the bank and sort my own trackies out. So what I mean? I'm like,
there's probably a deeper meaning behind it all as well. It's not just all your trackies laid out. Yeah, all your trackies with their sponsors on.
That's what I'm saying.
Your sponsors, you know what I mean?
And that's not a that's so.
And you get 10 and 10 or 30 and 30 or whatever it is if you win bonus and 30 guarantee. Whereas boxing's like it's totally different.
It's unbelievable how it's run, but from the ones not earning the money, but the ones who are delivering the numbers and the ones like say the fighters who. Say a boxer gets $200,000, but the UFC are getting $100,000, but the UFC are getting all the trackies laid out for them, all the meals delivered to the door. I know which one I'd rather have. I'd sort my own trackies, or I'll just wear my own trackie I've got in the house. I'd rather have the extra $100,000, and that's what I was trying to...
It's like the Al sponsors, innit? It's like the Al sponsors. I'll give you $5,000 for your fight, but I want 10 ringside VIP tickets. It's 600 quid a ticket, yeah. So I'm paying you $1,000, mate.
Well, that's what you touched on then as well. Like, I heard this rumour now that they're going to be making them wear plain white shorts and plain black shorts.
Yeah.
So again, if you're an up-and-coming fighter, we all know how important sponsors are, especially early in your career. Sponsors literally, like, enable you to box, and every fighter is so grateful to them and always mention them for that reason, because we all know you're going to get paid when you fight, and when you start off it's very minimal wages. So your sponsors, who's going to sponsor you now? You're not coming kid, and you're like, I'll sponsor you, look after you, but when you fight you don't show my logo. It's like, what's the point of me sponsoring you? So a lot of them are going to lose the livelihood and lose sponsorship because they're getting made to wear shorts, which it's not, and it's their own identity, isn't it? Part of your fight, one of the best parts, isn't it? Sort of designing your kit, sitting in, I'm going to wear this colour, or I'm going to have these type of shorts, and it's just losing all that. All the
I know you're on a diet, but can I have a muffin or what? Looking at me for ages. What? Well, I have to get one. Sorry, I knew you were on a diet, like, they're just looking at me.
On the Zope, obviously it'd be stupid of us not to mention what's just happened with Conor Benn. And again, I got asked about it on the weekend. They gave me opinion on it as such, and like, I'm not really sort of defending Eddie / promoters, but the thing with Eddie, what I said on the show and what I'll say now is obviously there's no stories of Eddie or Barry fucking people over, basically, and a lot of the promoters there is. And the thing with him is, if you want to be with him, you want to be with him. If you don't, you don't. It's probably come back a little bit to bite him on the arse here, but he probably never expected that from Ben, as I said when I got asked. My initial reaction was I'm very surprised, but also on the other hand, I'm probably not surprised, if you know what I mean.
Oh, mate, I don't know. I know what my situation on it is, where we've all been there. You all think, you know. Yet there is that thing in boxing where, you know, it's a conveyor belt with the promoters. You know, don't get too attached, because once you're done, this promoter stays in boxing and it's next kid in line, next kid in line. I agree with that, and I am all for that. But we're lucky enough to be in and around boxing. We're lucky enough to know that whole situation, what's going on between the two we mentioned, Conor Benn and Eddie Hearn. And I think Eddie stood on for Conor Benn through all the situation, put his name, his reputation on the line. I think it also is coming out now where we see he lent him hundreds of thousands of pounds, whereas, you know, he tried to, where he was on good terms with Conor and back Conor. Eubank pointed that out at a press conference. Yeah, you know, Eddie earn fortunes, you pay for your house, pay for your car, you pay for your legal fees. And Eddie said, I can confirm it, he doesn't. Now it's kind of, you know, the gloves are off. He said, you know, I lent him hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds. So was that true at the time? Well, it was true. You know, Eubank was right. So the loyalty in it that way, it was a little bit past the, I think that was more than a promoter and boxer relationship. That's where I think
that's where you're right,
it is a bad decision. It's wrong from Conor Benn. I'm not saying about a different situation. Then yeah, go and earn your money. At first, I did think, wonder if Eddie's involved in it. Wonder if Eddie's wonder if Eddie's like, well, you know, look, it's a one fight deal. Go and get the money. Pay me the percentage what we agree if you fight on a different promoters, and come back and you're back with us. But a couple of things I'm seeing getting said, I think, no, you're not involved in it. It has it, yeah.
What got me was the lawyer. Like, he didn't do it himself. And if that's true what Eddie said, the conversation, it was just an email from Eddie. Like, you'd owe him a phone call at the very least. You know what I mean? I said this without sounding like a prick saying sit down, but you owed him a little, just a chat maybe, to go and sit down, have a conversation, give him a handshake, look him in the eye and just say, look, I'm sorry, but I'm going to go there.
More so because, as you said initially, when you said, like, look, promoters will use fighters when you're no good to them. They move on, they go on the next one. So there's not really probably much sympathy for the promoter against the boxer in that way, and I get it. But if he's lending you hundreds of £1,000s, that's not promoter boxer, that's your mate, that's a friend. Like, I couldn't just go to a promoter and go, do us a favour. So when it's a friend, then at least, you know, again, I don't know the ins and outs, but you owe the man a conversation. You can't
that's
just
my
say,
view on it, in terms of, I'm all for a fighter getting what's best for the fighter. Say it's one career, the promoter's got hundreds of shots at it with other fighters, and the minute you're done, they move on. So if you can go and get a better deal, I'm all for that. But I think if anyone owes a promoter loyalty, it's Conor Benn. Like, he failed to do tests, whether it was genuine or you believe him or you don't believe him. Eddie backed him when no one else did.
I also think it's been done in a sly way, because, not when I say a sly way, I think, like, if...
when you raise how he found out, he didn't know.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Now, I've had the same situation with Eddie on a well lesser scale, but I didn't want to leave Eddie at the time I left him when I signed for Boxer. And I kept him in the loop with every negotiation I'd done.
Yeah.
And when Boxer offered me something that kind of, Eddie said, look, well, I can't guarantee you that beef because I don't control Eubank, so I can't guarantee you that fight. I can offer you the purse for it, but look, if they're offering you the same purse, regardless if they deliver Eubank or not, he said, no, I can't. So, and I think maybe he might have been on the same page as what I've just said before if he was involved in it. If Conor Benn said to him, look, they're offering me $15 million for one fight, Eddie might probably say, well, look, go and get it. But you can't, like, go on, I can't match that, Conor, unless I deliver you this fighter, I can't match it. So if you can go and get it for the one fight and then come back,
and that's the
thing,
we'll
carry it on.
It would be hard
because
to
it's been
match
done with no phone call and no... Of course, Eddie can't match that.
No, it would be hard to match that without any Saudi investment.
Or unless he delivered a massive fight again.
It's impossible.
Eubank and that's not going to generate that. You know, somebody, I don't even think anybody else generates that much money, certainly.
I agree.
For
Also
Conor.
heavyweight and fresh Joshua without Fury.
So I think Eddie would have been on the page of, if he was kept in the loop, that like, look, you know, man, go and get it, and then we'll resume.
People, everything Eddie's coming out and saying since at the phone call, and you can't say that and then go, it was a big joke, because everyone just laugh at it. So I think it hasn't happened.
The thing with the promoters, though, I remember having a phone call with Barry Hearn before the war fight. He said something that's just stuck in my mind ever since, and I've seen him on TalkSport doing his interview and saying, like, you know, very like disappointed in it, bless you, and all things like that. And I agree with what he's saying. But he said to me once, I'm too old and I'm too rich to fuck people over. I've never done it back in the day, and I don't do it now. And the more I thought, he's brilliant, Barry, but I always thought about it. I thought, you know, I've never heard a story of him fucking anyone over already. It doesn't. The rumours aren't out there. You know what I mean? Yeah.
When you hear all the stories of fighters going to court with promoters and stuff like that, and it doesn't go nice and whatever, you don't ever hear anything of Matchroom, to be fair to them, and we've all worked with them. They are it's a well-run organisation. I can't speak hard enough for them. I think what they say, they're very transparent. That's one thing I liked when I've been promoted by Eddie. I always felt like I knew what was happening. I was never in the dark. He said, look, we're going to do this, we're going to try this, and I was just like, okay, thanks. And I always knew where I was, so I think that's the best way of going about it.
And when you win a world title, you get a nice watch.
Unless you're like Callum.
Unless you're Callum. Everyone's had a watch by you, by the way. What's going on? I seen an article the other day about talking about. Go on. I seen an article, honestly, talking about like Josh Kelly. I didn't think he promoted Josh Kelly, and the next minute it's like, yeah, you know, Joe Cordine has been on me, blah blah blah. You know, so I was thinking, Callum from his debut, mate. Like, what's going on?
It's only ring mag champ, aren't
He's the champion, still on that one.
Open your mouth,
Eddie. That's the camera right there. Right, so the heavyweights coming up. I think have a little chat on the heavyweights. Dubois, Wardley's coming up. Chisora, Wilder, and then obviously a few more. You have a question about the minute Fury's back, and you know,
Dubois, Wardley, very good fight. Chisora, Wilder, I said this before, I don't want to see either of them in a ring again, but if they're facing each other, I've got no problem
who
with
wins
it.
both?
I think it's a nice touch, both of them having their 50th fight against each other, by the way.
I think personally, Chisora and Wardley.
You only pick Chisora in case he puts it on you.
You put it on you and you did shit yourself.
Oh yeah, they're both 49 fights in.
Oh, I didn't know Wilder was.
Into their 50s with that 100 fight between them, know what I mean? I think it's a boss story. It'd be nice, obviously, if they both retired after this, to me.
Yeah, I think they both will.
Retire together. They get on well as well, so it'd be good to see that, wouldn't it? A boss fight and then both retire.
Who wins Dubois, Wardley? It's a good fight.
It's a very good fight. Yeah.
I think it's the average, it's lively, and they both could land on each other, but I just think Fabio's confidence is right through the roof. And
I got asked the week on it
I wouldn't
last
fancy
week.
Many people against him with the way he's landing.
It's more just the frame of mind Wardley's in. He's on a good roll. His confidence is high. I think we've all been there when he's unbeaten. And I just think he got that mindset where even if I'm losing, I get it right. And he has been losing and he's pulled it out the bag. So he just thinks no matter what, I can get over the line. And I think that invincibility about, I don't think
Dubois was coming into it on the back of maybe like beating Joshua, and his confidence was, I think, hey, you know what, it's a proper pick him and that, but I just think timing's everything, isn't it? I think it's a Wardley, he was up against the Park, and you know, he's gone on and his confidence is growing and growing, whereas I think because of like these fighting stuff with Dubois, I think he looks a bit, that air of invincibility is not there, and I think Wardley will know in his head, I'll get you at one point.
I was just going to say that, so before the Parker fight, you're not picking Wardley for this, in my opinion. The Parker fight showed a lot, as well as the Justice Hooney fight. We were talking about it earlier in the week, and I got asked on it, and I said, like, in my opinion, I think Wardley, my one worry for Wardley is that because he's the champion now and he's the hunted, not the hunter, he doesn't change his mindset. I can't see him doing it because he's got that attitude anyway, he's okay. But if he changes that attitude, he takes it easy a little bit in it, then he's not going to probably beat Dubois. But I think the longer the fight goes, the harder the fight gets, the more I side with Wardley.
I think at the time, he's one of them though. I think he knows he's limited, and I mean that. I'm not slagging him. I mean that with the great respect. He knows he's come from a white collar background.
Every champion,
but he still knows. Every champion that done that, he was losing the Parker fight. He was losing the So I think he doesn't know he's still limited. But he might still be. He might have that like aura and that like kind of attitude where, well, I'll get you know, like kind of that smug attitude where. All right, I'm not bothered, I'm losing, I'll get you. And sometimes that might just happen,
It is a
but
good attitude, though.
you know, it is, yeah.
It is when
because
you're
it
not
makes you not panic. You know what I mean?
But what I think it is, as you mentioned here, he's come from a white collar background, so all of a sudden it's the pros. Yeah, beat him with pros now. You'll see, he's beat them. All of a sudden he's gone for a title, English title, British title level. Like, yeah, but he's an out title level. He's beat them. He's been questioned at every level. He stepped up, so he's probably used to it now. Like, look,
I'll tell you straight.
You think I'm going to lose again? No problem. And he's got him won them all. I think he's brilliant.
I've gone against him every time as well.
Most people have. That's what I'm saying.
Fraser Clark in the second fight. I picked Fraser Clark in the first fight. I thought he just had a bit more experience and of the amateur, especially the GB stuff. And I've gone against him, and I'm not going to go against him this time. And I hope it's not a jinx for him, because he's a good man.
You're not the only one.
Pick him fight. I did pick Parker to beat him.
But you're not the only one. What I'm trying to say to you, he got to sort of, British title, whatever, I think it was a British title fight, and it was like, yeah, but this is Olympic medalist, now you'll see boxing. And he's just like, all right, it's hard, he's getting and he's doing it, and he's performing every time, and he's winning and winning. You know what I mean? It's destructive on it, yeah.
Absolutely done Fraser, didn't he?
His mentality's boss.
Happy to see Fiore back, or?
I am.
He's always good for boxing. This is the thing, like, I wish he didn't say he was retiring, because I think everyone of us sort of know he's not going to retire. He
sent out today 5 times and he's retired now. 5.
But I do think he's missed when he's gone. I think he's so charismatic and that he's boss for the division. And I think while he's here, let's make the most of him. Let's see as much as we can.
I agree. My only worry from that Ngannou fight, I haven't really seen much improvement, and that was worrying, seeing how much he's struggling. Then the Usyk fight, obviously,
hard to judge against Usyk though, isn't it? Yeah, it's hard to judge against. Yeah,
he's done well, but I don't know. I hope he isn't aging as fast as what I assume he was.
I think it's mad to look at.
Never won any of the fights, but very competitive. Usyk, and I know size could make it like that, but competitive. I think it's probably a little bit disrespectful in saying that in a way.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to be.
I do think it's a good fight to come back into those as well.
What do you think on AJ?
Of course, but put it this way: Fury was the only man I thought could beat Usyk. If anyone was going to beat Usyk, I said it was always Fury. The long arms, I thought he'd use his reach a bit more, and when Usyk got close to him, I thought he'd lean on him a bit similar to Wilder. I thought he'd have very similar tactics to Wilder, but Usyk, as we all know, is unbelievable. He's just a master of tiring them out, and he ends up beating Fury, and had Fury exhausted.
That night drama was unbelievable.
I thought Fury doesn't mind doing what everyone screamed at Joshua to do, just dragging him underneath. Like that, Klitschko way, just putting his body on top of him and tiring him that way. That's where everyone. I did pick him the first one. I picked Fury to win the first one, then obviously.
What do you think on Fury AJ? If AJ fights again, and it's a big if. And I mean that with respect as well, with a lot of respect. I wouldn't blame him if he didn't fight again. By the way,
he's been through a lot, and again, it's something what, like, myself, obviously. Remember when we were going up, I was going to turn pro and seen an accident, seen a poor girl. I had to get in the car, and a little young girl, 15 years of age, died in the car, and I can still see her face now. God bless her.
I remember the petrol leaking out the tank coming out of the car. The petrol so didn't catch fire.
I started to get in the car, and I said, "There's a girl here," and this fella was next to me, and he said, "Just leave her, she's dead, get the driver out." And I froze, thinking, "Wow!" And I'm looking at this poor kid in the car, and I could see it. Honestly, it took me a while getting past it in my head when I was going to bed, and I'd never met this poor girl. Yeah. That's his friend in the car with him, and like, what friend? Sorry, but I just meant like the one that you see the fella on the floor and that, like what he's been through. I think is going to be really tough for him to get past, and give him the time. And if he doesn't, of course
that's fine. I don't hope he doesn't get rushed.
If he does make the decision in his own head that, you know what, I'm going to do it for them, or whatever he does, then I think he's going to have, not in the country, he's going to have the world behind him, because I think everyone's going to back him and say, like, he's got a good fan base anyway, you know what I mean? But I think now he's just going to be unbelievable to do, and I'd love to see him just obviously do whatever he wants, but happiness comes first, and I just hope he's happy. I just think if he does get back, anyone would still pay to see that fight, wouldn't he? It's the biggest fight in British boxing history, in my opinion.
So, speaking of which, I'd watch that fight. I always say about these fights when they're made, Wilder Chisora, I'll watch that. What are we saying about Mayweather Pacquiao? Because I won't be watching that.
I will.
Will you? Oh, you're mad.
Yeah, I watch it.
Staying up.
No chance.
Yeah. Mate, I got off with Logan Paul and
Tyson.
So
did I. Slammed the laptop shut after 9 rounds, thinking, why did I stay up for that? I was in Saudi.
I got for Logan Paul and KSI.
No, more fool you.
Honestly, I'll get up for it. Like, I'll just boxing and I'll get up for it.
Yeah, but same fella, you go in his house and he's standing up watching two Russians are fighting on Eurosport years ago.
Why do I stand up and play a computer game? I don't stand up on COD. I don't stand up watching the telly.
Shall we get into COD or what? Shall we speak about COD? No. Might be a few gamers watching us.
30 years of age and 40 years of age, everyone's going to slaughter us.
Can't believe he's playing computers, mate.
Honestly, so this like, not a podcast as we called it. I've had a laugh doing it. We were dipping our toes into it. We were trying to see whether it would work. We were trying to see whether we could do something with. We fucking hate podcasts with the big staff, these stiff mics in your face. We wanted to get good guests on. We've had, I think, really good guests. I think we've massively delivered on the guests, and we will deliver going forward. And maybe we can ask any comments, or the viewers who are watching, who you just want to get on in future, because we are going to be getting good guests in future. We've got a few already lined up, haven't we? And I've personally really enjoyed it. I didn't think we would, but I've enjoyed it. What about yourselves?
I think we've got to have a conversation as to whether we keep you on for season 2, to be honest. But no, I think no, what we have, we've proper, like, say, we learned a lot. We're learning also, but I think it's just gone well better than any of us could have probably expected. The guests we got, we were lucky to have good access to good guests who were buzzing to help us out. We got some top shows, top feedback.
Maybe you can open your phone book next time as well for the future guests rather than me doing them all.
Taking credit.
Books every one of them, like, but yeah.
Yeah, but no, I just think now that what we've got planned and lined up for season 2 again is something to look forward to. And
they should definitely comment who they want, though, shouldn't they, so we can see, obviously.
Yeah, that's just all open for thingy, and just give us comments. I think people have anyway. Most comments are getting me dad on, but as Callum just says, well, my dad just says,
very proud to be on the cameras. Proud of them all. That's what he said.
We've had loads of comments for Big David Price as well, and we've asked him, so he's agreed. Thankfully, we've got some really good guests.
But I do think that's a good shout. Anyone you fancy seeing on it, fire in the comments, and we'll do our best.
And you can ask them to like and subscribe, can't you? And
share, subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe, comment, but don't comment about you.